In this lecture, let's talk about the most essential component of any game object. Every game object has a component called transform. Regardless of the game object, you're guaranteed this component. Unlike other components, this component cannot be removed. Let's check out the robot game object. As we learned previously, we have 4 components. All components are removable except the transform component. For example, I'm going to right-click on the Mesh Renderer component. As I do so, the option for removing the component becomes available. This option is available on almost all components. Let's check out the options for the transform component by right-clicking on it. As you can see, we have fewer options than before. So why is the transform component considered necessary? The transform component allows developers to move, rotate, and scale the game object. It's a standard feature required by all game objects. We're not forced to manipulate game objects with the tools from the scene window. The transform component can help us further refine our adjustments. For example, let's try adjusting the X position of the game object. In the input, write a random number. Almost immediately, the robot from the scene moved away from the other objects. It's awkwardly positioned in the game. Pressing Ctrl-Z will undo the change. If you're on a Mac, this command would be Command-Z. An alternative method of updating the values is by hovering your mouse over the label. For example, let's try adjusting the X position again. This time, my mouse is hovered over the X label. The mouse icon's appearance will slightly change. 2 arrows are pointing to the left and right. We can click and drag to update the X position. One benefit of using the slider is previewing the changes in real time. Over to our scene, the robot game object accurately reflects the changes. Once again, this will break our design, so I'll undo the changes. Great! The transform component is very powerful. We'll be using it to help us move objects around our world. In the next lecture, let's continue our discussion of Unity.